In a revelation that's reigniting political debate across the nation, Hunter Biden has claimed that his father, President Joe Biden, was on medication during the infamous 2020 presidential debate against Donald Trump. This statement, made during a recent interview promoting his memoir, has sparked intense scrutiny and speculation about the physical and mental health of the then presidential candidate, as well as the transparency of his campaign team. A chaotic debate remembered the first 2020 presidential debate between Joe Biden and Donald Trump was one of the most chaotic and combative debates in American political history, marked by frequent interruptions, personal insults, and moments of confusion. It left many Americans disillusioned and concerned about the state of political discourse. Now, nearly 5 years later, Hunter Biden's claim has given new context to that tumultuous night. According to Hunter, his father had been prescribed medication to help with fatigue and stiffness. Conditions, he says, were exacerbated by the grueling demands of campaigning and public appearances. Hunter's words, Hunter Biden did not specify the exact medication, but stated in a podcast appearance, "My dad was doing everything he could to stay sharp and strong during the campaign. It was an incredibly stressful period, and there were moments when his energy was being drained by the sheer weight of the attacks and expectations." He added, "There was medical support involved, nothing illegal or even abnormal for someone of his age under such intense pressure. But it does explain some of the slower responses people noticed." The president's son insisted that the medication had no impact on his father's ability to govern or think clearly. If anything, he said, it kept him level during an incredibly uneven debate where Trump was constantly breaking the rules. The political fallout, predictably, the response from political opponents has been swift and fierce. Several Republican figures have seized on the comment as evidence of a lack of transparency from the Biden campaign during 2020. GOP lawmakers and conservative pundits are calling for more information about what medications Biden was taking at the time and whether the public was misled. Fox News commentator Sean Hannity said, "This isn't just about one night, it's about trust. If the American people didn't know their candidate was being medicated, that's a problem." Meanwhile, Trump himself posted on Truth Social, "I always knew something was off with Sleepy Joe that night. Now we know they drugged him up just to get him through the debate." The White House response. The White House has not directly responded to Hunter's comments. However, a source close to the Biden administration said the president's health has always been carefully monitored and disclosed according to standard protocol. The source also emphasized that Joe Biden has undergone routine physical exams, all of which have shown him to be fit to serve. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre, when asked about the comments, deflected, "I'm not going to speak to Hunter Biden's personal comments or speculation. What I can tell you is that the president has consistently demonstrated leadership, mental acuity, and a commitment to his role, medical or political." The larger question remains, was the use of medication unusual or unethical? Political historians argue that presidential candidates have long used medical support during campaigns. From JFK's back pain treatments to Reagan's occasional memory lapses, the physical toll of campaigning often requires medical intervention. Still, the fact that this information is coming not from a campaign official or the president himself, but from his son, makes the revelation all the more controversial. Medical professionals have also chimed in. Dr. Lisa Grant, a geriatric specialist, commented, "It's not uncommon for individuals in their 70s or 80s to require medication to manage energy or inflammation. The key is whether such treatment affects cognitive functioning, and, from what we know, that does not seem to be the case with President Biden." An unwelcome distraction for the Biden campaign heading into the 2024 election cycle. Hunter's comments may prove to be an unwelcome distraction. President Biden is already facing questions about his age and vitality, and any suggestion that his performance is chemically supported risks reinforcing those concerns. Meanwhile, Hunter Biden himself is no stranger to controversy. His past struggles with addiction, legal investigations into his business dealings, and ongoing Republican attempts to tie him to his father's presidency have kept him in the headlines. Some see his remarks as honest and humanizing. Others view them as politically reckless. A divided public reactions from the public have been predictably divided. Supporters of President Biden argue that it's a non-story that minor medical support for a septuagenarian presidential candidate is entirely reasonable. Others, particularly Trump loyalists, view the admission as proof that Biden was unfit for office. Social media has erupted with debate. Hashtags like #MedicatedJoe and #HunterSpeaks are trending on platforms like X, formerly Twitter. Memes, clips from the 2020 debate, and conspiracy theories are once again dominating the digital conversation. Conclusion: Hunter Biden's claim may not ultimately change the political landscape, but it has cracked open a window into the behind-the-scenes realities of high-stakes campaigning at the highest level. As the 2024 election looms, and age becomes a central issue for both leading candidates, voters may demand more transparency about not only policies but also personal health. One thing is clear: in American politics, even a son's offhand remark can send shockwaves through the nation.